Sometimes in scriptures they call higher calls awareness. There in scriptures they call that awareness as supreme consciousness.
But consciousness and awareness both are one and the same, Swamiji.
That is
Consciousness and awareness both are one and the same.
But here we can.
What you are using the terminology look like differently.
I am using the word awareness for the Atman or the basic consciousness, the Chit.
Chit or awareness. Chit is awareness. This comes prajnanam.
Chit is awareness. Prajnanam. Everything is awareness. That is awareness. And what we are having through, we feel something through body and mind, that is the consciousness. Bodily consciousness, psychological consciousness. That is the expression of the Chit. That is the expression of the Prajnana. But the Prajnana we cannot feel. So it has nothing to feel. So unless we have some object, there is no object to feel. So whenever there is no object, there is no need to be a subject. So as there is no object apart from the awareness, apart from the Chit, the Chit it will not reveal itself as a subject.
Because of Chit, we are aware of the both presence and absence of the thoughts. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Because of Chit only, I know I am aware of what is bad thoughts, what is good thoughts. Without the Chit.
So here, all in the expression itself is the Chit. All expression, whatever we feel, anything, that is only through the expression of the awareness itself. But here,
that Sarvam Kalvidam Dharma, like that you are
whatever we are having as an experience through bodily or psychologically, all experience in the form of consciousness is the Chit alone. The Chit alone expressed like that.
Yes, unconscious, where it is. So, conscious, subconscious, conscious, and whatever it is. What is the role of this unconsciousness?
Unconsciousness is in the conscious level. So sometimes we have some memory. We are not having all the memory at a time. So one by one it may come. So the memory is in the unconscious state of our consciousness. But whenever it comes to the conscious level, we feel something, we know something. So only the conscious part alone having divided into two parts, unconscious part and conscious part. For example, when we have some thought, the thought happens unconsciously. The next moment we are conscious of the thought. The thought is unconscious, but the knowing of thought is conscious.
By the moment you start knowing it, it becomes conscious. But it is coming from unconscious.
No, both are in the conscious part. So the conscious part alone is having two aspects. One is conscious and the unconscious. But it both belongs to the conscious part of our mind. The subconscious is different.
Subconscious is under the layer
of our conscious part.
Okay. But this both conscious and unconscious lies in the conscious
part.
But when the thought comes and you recognize the thought, that time it becomes so it is coming from unconscious.
Coming from unconscious of the conscious mind. Conscious mind.
The dreams happens only out of the unconscious mind only. Really, the dreams are
unconscious part of the conscious mind. Unconscious part of the conscious mind. The conscious mind having two parts: the unconscious part and conscious part. But here, even though we are conscious of something in the dream, we are conscious of something. But at the same time, even though the conscious part is not properly functioning, we are conscious of the dream itself. Whenever we are having the dream, we are conscious of the dream itself. But we do not know everything is an imagination. The consciousness is not very clear.
But during dream, we are unaware of the dream experience in But during the dream.
During the dream itself, we know something. The knowing is also going. We are recognizing everything. In the dream, we know something. We know that is our friend. We can recognize myself as myself and friend as friend.
So awareness is working.
Oh, it is also working.
Awareness
the main thing is that we are not connected to the external world. So then, thereby we cannot differentiate the external world and the internal world. So we are drowning ourselves totally within ourselves. So, but the main thing is that we cannot discriminate the thought and the external world and the sensory world. We know only the thought alone. So in that, even in the daytime also, you may think something. Yeah. But in the thinking, you are within there. Within the thinking, your role is there. Somebody is there. Anybody is there. Even in the daytime also, you can think something. So in this way, this thinking process is going on in our sleep.
Can you define what is that? I understand there is a conscious part and unconscious part and a conscious part. What is this unconscious part?
Unconscious part is the happening because we are not designing a thought. We are not ourselves designing a thought. It happens on its own. So whatever happens on its own, that can be designed as an unconscious part.
Can we say this is some unresolved thoughts?
Unresolved thought.
Unresolved thoughts, it is there. It is coming to getting expressed as a thought to get the solve. Now, whether we are solving or not, that is different. The physical world. But in the psychological world, can we say that the unconscious part is unresolved something? It is there. As in the presence of a thought. In the form of a thought, rather.
So, something is there, some memory is part of there. From that memory part, some thought comes. So, how did it...
You mean to say the underkernel, we call it as like, what do you call it? Manabuddhi, Siddham. That Siddham you are talking about?
No.
That is different.
This is only Manam. Manam alone.
Manam alone. In that there is no
mind alone, there are some two parts are there.
Okay.
Not in the, we are not coming to the four category. Actually, the mind, Buddhi is discriminative thing.
Faculty. That discriminative.
Discriminative.
No, when it expresses as a thought in the conscious, through a conscious mind, when it expresses as a thought outside, can I say, no, will I be able to identify, okay, this has come from that unconscious part, okay, that is the nature of the thought. Well, since the nature of the thought is like that, can I say, will I be able to identify this has come from that unconscious part or conscious part?
No.
Will I be able to identify something like that?
All is coming from the unconscious part. Nothing, this is from conscious part, everything is coming from the unconscious part.
Then why there is a separation? You said no? Like so conscious and unconscious.
So here, whenever we are having some consciousness, we know only the conscious part alone. So before it coming to the consciousness, it has to come away from somewhere else. The coming away from somewhere else.
That the process is called unconscious.
Unconscious.
Okay. So it is coming from somewhere. So which I do not know.
No.
So I say it is unconscious.
It is not conscious. Because we are not conscious of that.
Yes.
That part we
when it expresses, I become conscious of that.
Yeah. We know only the expression.
So it should come from unconscious.
Unconscious.
Okay.
So, that is the witness, but we are not. We are using in a different way. Actually, the real witness is the awareness. The real witness is the Chit, Prajnanam. Everything is the real witness. But it will not take any role on itself.
Okay, but we see the external part of the world, we able to understand the creation. But how can we appreciate the creation of space?
Creation of space means?
See, space is there everywhere. You understand? On top of it, it is only awareness is there. From the awareness, it has come. That is supreme. How can we, is there any how to appreciate or understand that the existence of space inside the awareness? It exists inside the awareness only. Time and space exist inside the awareness only. But I understand, but in the sense, in the broader understanding, is that any, you
So here,
with the examples.
here the scriptures, the state of scripture is that the Maya is there. That is the deeper consciousness. So the deeper consciousness is the deeper consciousness, and the awareness jointly creates the universe. That is the Iswara.
Deeper consciousness.
Deeper consciousness and awareness jointly creates the universe. That is the deeper consciousness and the awareness jointly becomes the Iswara. The Iswara creates the world. Iswara creates the universe. So that is the duty of the deeper consciousness, not the duty of the our subconscious. That's the duty of the
sphere of Iswara.
Not of the duty of the awareness itself. It is not the duty of the awareness itself.
But the Iswara again is dependent on awareness.
Awareness.
Again. Because it has to become a conscious.
The scriptures going to explain like this because the awareness and Maya joins together and becomes an Iswara. That is the, but where from the Maya comes?
What scripture says Maya is anadi. We cannot that is indescribable. But Sattva, Guna, Iswara, Maya, both are, there are synonyms. Maya, Iswaran, and the Sattva Guna Swami, that pure mind. It's nothing but Iswara only. So, what is the relation between Swamiji? Space, witness, and awareness.
So, witness and awareness are same. There is no difference between witness and awareness. Both are same.
What is the witness of space, Swamiji? Because behind the space there is awareness. Okay.
When space is there.
First the thought level, Swamiji. Second, then space. Next to that, awareness.
So awareness is the base, and in the awareness can be another name of awareness is witness. We name the awareness as witness because it is not a party to anything. It is apart from everything. So then only it can be called as the witness. So it has no connection, direct connection to anything. So it is aloof from everything. Right. It is not a party to any transaction. Right. So whenever we are a party to a transaction, we cannot be considered as a witness. For somebody is fighting with each other, the witness is not a party to the transaction. So whoever away from the transaction can be considered as a witness. So the awareness is not a party directly to anything. So basically it is there, but he is not involved, he is not selecting anything. So all selection is through mind. The mind alone is the doer of anything. For that, the basis of everything, the awareness is there.
Can we say Iswara is also another expression of awareness?
Another expression of
awareness.
So,
because if you say something else, it becomes a dual. That is, one more Iswara is there, then awareness is there. It becomes a dual. It should be one only. It can be. We are talking about the psychological world only again.
So, as the Jiva is functioning through awareness, Iswara also functioning through awareness. So, in considering both, everybody is the awareness. Even Jiva and Iswara. Both are awareness.
Dependent on awareness.
Both are different. But
so, it should be an expression of the Iswara. It should be an expression of awareness.
But in the outer aspect, somebody is Jiva and somebody is Iswara. Basically, both are awareness.
Both are. Yes. You were talking about the space.
Space is there. Even space is there. Yeah. Some matter is there, then only between the matter some space will be there.
Yeah. Because there's times when it feels like where I'm aware of space, and within that space the thoughts are arising and falling. So what is that? That it seems that space, in that space, the whole phenomenal world, in terms of psychological thought as phenomena, seems to arise and fall within that space. But there's still awareness of the space.
So here, some matter is there. Within the matter, some gap is there.
Yeah.
So matter alone is the deciding factor, not the space. So, because when we have to differentiate one thing from the other thing, then between the things there must be some gap. So the gap can be inferred as space. It is only coming through inference. But really what is existing is only the matter alone is existing, not the gap.
Not the gap.
Gap is not a matter.
Yeah.
It is a gap between matters.
The space exists inside us also. That is why our thoughts get expressed. Because
So here also some matter is going on. So in
that
that
is that awareness.
in the
Presence of awareness is there.
we not take it as we cannot connect the awareness as the space. It is even beyond that.
The awareness is beyond the space.
So here what we know is some expression. The expression alone can be considered as the awareness, not the gap. The gap is not expressing itself.
We cannot define space. Am I right?
We cannot. We can infer space.
Infer space.
Because what we define is only some expression. All expression is a limited expression. So within the limited expression, between each and every expression, some gap is there. So
we can infer space.
We can infer space. Between one expression and another expression, some gap is there. So that is the space. But that we can infer. But what we know, what we feel is only the expression.
So we can we understand that space exists. That's all.
That you can infer like this.
Infer like that. Yes.
But we know only the expression, we know only the matter, we do not know the gap between the matters.
So if we're experiencing space, then we can say that's an experience of the Akash or something like that, as another element.
So when you experience something, the experiencing itself is a matter, it is not a space.
Right.
Even the experiencing itself is a matter.
Yeah.
So all experiencing what in the name of space, I am experiencing space means we are experiencing matter in the name of space.
Yeah.
It is like awareness experiencing awareness.
Yeah.
In that case, it cannot be. Only a matter can be experienced.
Experience.
Only a matter can be experienced. Other than this,
it cannot be experienced. So what we experience is only a matter. So the gap, the space is not a matter.
Right.
So it cannot be experienced.
Can't be experienced.
So if you think we can experience the gap, so it is only a matter.
Then it's only matter. I see.
It is not the real thing.
Yeah. Because there's some people, they emphasize the space. You hear this emphasis of the space, but that's still...
So for some practice or anything, we can say like this, we can practice like this.
Yeah.
So for yoga practice, we can rely upon that.
Right, for you, yeah.
Iswara and Jiva are both are made up of our mind. So we can train our mind to reach the level of the Iswara itself. If you have all the capacity through yoga practices, anything, you can have a more powerful. You can become just like an Iswara itself. So if you have the capacity to become an Iswara, what will be your duty? So for example, if you are having absolute power just like Iswara, what will you do? You will be a judicial person. You will be just like your action will be a judiciary. You cannot select anybody. I am pleased to give something to somebody. I cannot give anything to somebody. So you will be a neutral person. Then only you can be considered as Iswara. So you are having absolute capacity. You can even create a different world. But at the same time, what you will do is you will behave like a neutral person, just like a judicial officer, and you will treat everything alike. You will not select somebody to be close to you and somebody is against you. You will accommodate everything as one.
Oneness.
As oneness. So here, but somebody may create something not to go to the level of the Iswara. They will have develop some powers, some limited powers to heal something, healing power and anything, looking some great thing. And so such kind of state, that is not the Iswara. That is the satanic deed, because we have some satanic